Hey guys, welcome back to the wood shop. And if you clicked on this link, I'm sure you can tell by now we're going to be doing an unboxing. We're going to test this thing. It's the McGraw 3-gallon air compressor from Harbor Freight. So stick around if you want to see how this thing works out. So before we get too far into the unboxing and that kind of stuff, I want to show you what I'm replacing. And if you've seen one of my previous videos, I replaced the switch on this thing, and it's getting to the point where it's getting more and more things that's wrong with it. It's got another piece back here that was broke. Like I said, I replaced the switch and that kind of stuff. And it got to be, it was costing more than what it would for just going to get a new compressor. So that's what we've done. This one still works. I'll probably keep it around the shop just in case, this one goes down. But this one's starting to have some issues. So we'll go ahead and get tore into this thing and let you see what it looks like. Okay, so I know this is not going to be anything fancy. It's just, as I've said in some of my other videos, it's just a box with a product in it. But regardless, people like seeing unboxing videos, so that's what we're going to put out there. Oh, and before I get too far, I'm trying to see. This is part number 57572, and they got another one. Only thing I can tell different is the tank. One of them is a pancake compressor, and this one is what a lot of people call the hot dog compressor. It's just kind of a long, slender one. I think this one's a little beefier, but regardless, this one and the pancake compressor, pretty sure they have the same motor on them. There's some instructions. You know what we can do with those. Some packing material, of course. And the compressor itself. It's a nice looking compressor. It's got a good clean looking motor on it. It looks very well built. And it's not too heavy. My other one, it was actually a 2-gallon compressor. This is a 3, so maybe that'll benefit in the long run. But we're going to get this thing hooked up. And one test we're going to do on it, I've seen a couple like this. I've not seen a lot of videos on this particular compressor. That's why I decided to put a video out. Maybe you've not seen one. This might persuade you into getting one. But regardless, we're going to turn this thing on and see how long. I'm not going to film the entire process, but we're going to see how long it takes to go from empty to full to where it kicks off. We're going to show you how long that takes. It's nothing fancy or scientific. We're just going to set a timer and get this thing started and see how long it takes to build up. So we're ready to get started on this timer, and you can see here I've kind of engineered, we'll go with that statement, just a piece of the foam that come out of the box here, and we've set our phone up in it, just going to see how long it takes. But I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to start the timer. Okay, so this thing, you can tell it's loud, quite a bit louder than my old compressor. And I will say my old compressor build up pressure quicker, but it could be something to do with the motor. This particular motor on this compressor is an oil-free motor, whereas that one, it uses oil. So if you've seen where I stopped it, I probably stopped just a couple of seconds late or so, but somewhere around 3.5 minutes or so to build it up, which isn't too terrible. I did see one video where a guy used the same one and it took about 5 minutes to fill it up, which still isn't terrible. But now this thing stops off at 110 psi. My old one had 125. So it's not a big issue. The only thing really I use these for, and one I keep it around, is these pin nailers or brad nailers and that kind of stuff. And for the most part, I've been using the old battery operated one, this rigid one. And that compressor done good for that. Now I have done a little painting with it, but I wouldn't really recommend that. These, something this small is not really set up for that. Yeah, I don't, this is just kind of a unboxing and a little bit of a test, so I don't know what the long term is going to be for this. Of course, I'll give you an update later on once I get some use out of it and that kind of stuff. But we're going to set up here now. We're going to hook a hose to it. Show you a couple little things here. I'll just use some scrap wood to shoot some nails in. Just to make sure that part of it works, which I'm sure it does. But we'll get that set up and we'll be right back. Okay, I just went over and dug through the scrap pile, so these are not really the best pieces to be working with, but it's just a few samples. I've got some pine, which is naturally going to be the softest that I've got. I've got just a junk piece of oak here and a piece of maple. The first thing we're going to try up is the pin nailer, which I don't think this is going to have any issues. The pins are so small, but we'll shoot a few of those just to make sure everything's doing like it should. Of course, you can see this thing kicked on about the time we were using this thing. It kicked on at 80 psi. Of course, not recording it, I lost a little pressure, putting the hose in there, and that one's a good tight fit, good and snug, no air leaks, that kind of stuff. Where my old one, that hadn't been on there a while, so it took a little fidgeting to get this one plugged in. But anyway, it kicked on about 80 pounds. So we're going to go move on, and naturally the pine didn't have any issue. So we're going to try the maple next. And of course the oak. And those are slightly longer than I thought they were, but regardless, just an old workbench. But no issues getting those drove through there. We'll try the brad nailer next. Okay, so we got loaded up here 1.25 inch brad nails. I'm going to try the 2-inch here in just a moment too, but we're going to go ahead and get that hooked up. And just in case I figured a little too short or whatever, so I don't nail it back to my workbench, I'm just going to do it off the edge here. Yeah, drove those in maple, no issue. They're good, slightly countersunk. So yeah, that done real good in that one. So we'll load up the 2-inch nails, and I'll probably have to get a bigger piece of wood here, because I know they're going to drive through that one. Okay, so we've got the nail gun loaded up here with 2-inch nails, and I can tell you off camera here, I tested it just a little bit just to see what kind of pressure this thing would need, and I had it sitting on 80. For 2-inch nails, at least in this hard maple, that seemed to be a little low because it was leaving them sticking up just a hair. We got it setting right about 90 pounds. We're going to see if that does any better. Oh, and if you hear the leaking, that's from the hose here. It's not the compressor. I probably need a new fitting or something like that. But regardless, let's try these nails out and see how they work. Okay. An extra 10 pounds. You can see, like I said, that could be part of it with a gun, or I could not have it just adjusted right. Left a head or two up here, and I kind of got that one a little cockeyed. That was my fault, but these are good and flush. So regardless, yeah, the air output is doing exactly like it should be. So you've seen how this thing works and that kind of stuff. My initial thoughts of it I like it so far. You know, I think it's going to serve my purposes. And in my opinion, this thing, it's a good looking compressor, you know, which is not important at all. It doesn't have to look good. It just has to function. But regardless, I do think it looks good. It's got a nice, I'm assuming probably a powder coat finish on there. Uh, and just the decals and that kind of stuff, in my opinion, looks good on there. If I had a cons to this, the negative side of it, the first one would be the noise. This thing is loud. So, but luckily, I keep it under my assembly table here, so hopefully, when I'm actually using it, not just for demonstrating it, it'll be a little quieter. And then the second thing is just the amount of time it takes to build up, which I feel like anything you're going to buy new is probably going to be that way. It's going to take a while to build up. Now, I do have a larger compressor down in my other shop that is also a oil-free compressor. But it's around a 26 gallon. It's loud too, and it takes a while to build up. But besides the point, I do think this is a nice one. For the price you get it for, you're probably not going to beat it many places. You know, this thing used to be $49.99. Over the weekend, I got it at $69.99. So, thank you, inflation. And I tried to use a coupon, didn't read the fine print. That's on me that the compressors were not part of the 20% discount. But regardless, I'm happy with it, and I'll let you know in the future if I have any issues or plus sides to it. But stay tuned for that. And also, I just want to say we're up to almost 550 subscribers as of recording this. So we're getting close to our mark. I told you, if you watched some of my earlier videos, if we get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, we're going to do a giveaway, and I'm sticking to that. So we're about halfway there. Anyway, we're at the end of the video. Thank you for watching it. Thank you for subscribing, all that good stuff. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on the next video.